I teach 5th grade. This past year, I've learned to truly get to know my students. And that doesn't just mean their test scores or their reading level. As teachers, we work hard to build relationships with our students. We know if they won their basketball game, who they're having a sleepover with this weekend, even who their favorite YouTuber is. But do we really know our students? Have we taken the time to climb into their heads in order to see school through their eyes? To wave a magic wand and know what each student is thinking? Impossible. But is it? Ask them. They are kids. They'll tell you anything, even when you don't ask. As teachers, we spend countless hours reflecting on what we do daily in the classroom. However, how often do we look at the individual student and what school means and feels to them? School's very different for each student that walks through our doors. 2 students that I've had the pleasure of teaching for 2 years come to mind. Watching them for an extended period of time has given me a unique insight into their student experience. One boy is the picture-perfect model student on the outside. However, his experience of school is a battle with perfection that he painfully strives for to please himself, his teachers, and his parents. As a gifted student, the bar continues to be set at a higher and higher level. Have the expectations that we set for him become unattainable? The stress that he faces is causing him to be scared to be vulnerable and feeling overworked. He's lost sight of his bravery, too afraid to mess up. He's so afraid to do something wrong that he won't take the risk that could lead to something incredible. When I asked him what school was like for him, his response shook me to my core. He states, "School is a very unique place for me. I feel like that for some reason, I have to be perfect. This results in a whole mountain of stress. Since I want to do things so well, I take a lot of time to try and make sure my work is perfect, leading me to take all of my unfinished work home. This is the most common outcome when I try to do things perfectly, but there is still another outcome. This happens when I actually get everything done. It's a sense of accomplishment that I actually lived up to what I want to do. This is the week that I feel at the peak of greatness. But since these happen so rarely, I start worrying about next week. This all just resorts to more stress, and it really is tormenting me. School could be good or bad. It all depends on my capabilities." The other student that comes to mind is one of my struggling learners. In the time I have known her, I've seen her battle with focus and self-confidence. She started 4th grade desperate for acceptance and love. Because she was constantly hearing how not to behave, she had lost the ability to speak to herself in a positive way. My goal daily is to show her that she is so much more than the work in front of her. She has a beautiful soul and the potential to make a real impact in this world. She is so proud of her Latina culture and has a deep understanding of the people around her. She can see into your heart and understands the meaning of loyalty. Her creative mind will take her places the regular education system will not. When I asked her about school, she said, "School life is better now because you help me when I don't understand, and you will listen to me. You show me that I can do hard things and be successful. But focusing on work is hard for me at times. It makes me feel stupid when I cannot complete my work, and it seems that many others do not have that problem." These students have the power to change the world, to lead, and we have the power to help them see it through, to help them change their mindset, to help navigate school, to see themselves for who they are, their capabilities, their accomplishments, how their failures lead to successes, to see beyond the academics, to see that problem solving and creativity have a greater impact on their future than getting an A on their math test. How could we possibly facilitate this growth without asking them, without knowing how they see and speak to themselves, and what they are thinking and feeling? I have learned to be more reflective regarding the students than the curriculum. How do I provide a classroom environment that shows the diversity of our learning? Do I facilitate positive self-talk in the classroom, practice gratitude, and model bravery? I have learned to celebrate mistakes, milestones, and victories. I have learned to ask students, hear their voice. That changes how I teach them. It is their education, their future. Include them. I've learned to be more vulnerable enough to listen to what my students have to say, as well as share my own struggles with them. At times it can hurt because we all know they'll be brutally honest. But that's where the growth lies. That's where the change happens, in that uncomfortable place when you learn that you also have room to grow. I have learned to see what is behind their mask, what is blocking each student from being successful. I have learned to see the whole person sitting in front of me, not just the student. In her book, Dare to Lead, Brené Brown states, I define a leader as anyone who takes responsibility for finding the potential in people and processes, and who has the courage to develop that potential. We can be that leader for our students in order to build the leader in each of them. We can build bravery and self-acceptance in our students to where they will say, I am brave enough to do this, to all challenges they face. We see you, your struggles, your accomplishments. We hear you. We will stand by your side. It is brave work. Are you ready for it?